Welcome back, guys. Harry here, known as Trade Shop, and today we're going to look at Polkadot, some Bitcoin. Going to update you on what I think is going on here in the markets today and what I expect coming into next week. So let's get started. So we have the weekly close coming in tomorrow, and it's looking bullish, right? We have this wick coming up to here. We could easily have a wick fill, right? To be honest, as long as we're not closing back below 58,000, I'm not bearish, right? As long we need to remain above 58,000. Now, yesterday, if you guys haven't watched my video, I was explaining some downside targets if Bitcoin was to turn around. But we are looking bullish, just to be clear, on all time frames. Daily looking great. It's bullish, constructive. I wouldn't mind, another swipe down here to about that 59,000, and I'll be looking at that as a major opportunity personally. I think any swipes down here to 59.5 around this area here will be seen as a major opportunity. As we can see now on the 4 we have confirmed a high in 56 minutes. So if this candle can close like this, and especially close below this range here, it's easy continuation down here to 60,000. But if we do take out this wick here, then I do think we get that move to that 59,005, and I do see that as a major opportunity and gear up coming for next week because we do see these counter trends moves happen during the weekend, and you can see we're putting in higher lows. But again, this is looking great and very constructive, to be honest. Looking at momentum on the 4 hour, does look like it does want to turn down, and yeah, it does look like it wants to cross down. I think the 1 hour would be crossed down by now, and that would give us a clear indication. And yeah, we can see, and that probably does lead into the 4 hour. Do we have any trend lines to support price action? We don't. What is daily looking like? No supporting trend lines. So yeah, we don't have any trend line supporting price action on the Stokes. So this could come down. The 1 hour fired off a signal here, and this is a continuation signal closing below this pivot here, which should see price actually drive down quite easily down to this 60,000, to be honest. So 1 hour is giving a sort of hint, but it's not a very strong time frame on a weekend. So I do expect another swipe down here, but I do expect that to be bought up. And if we do ever come down to this around this 59,000 area, 58,000, I see that as a major opportunity because, as I stated before, what do we have coming in at this area? We have a lot coming in at that area. We have the the 21 coming in, as you can see, that 21 coming in at 59,000. So, that's obviously a good basing area, the 21. And then on top of the 21, what we also have is we have this trend line that you can see being drawn from here to here, and a test down to that 21 will fulfill that trend line, and it's even more clear on the 4 hour, and you can see how that trend line is coming in quite nicely from these lows like so, and you can imagine a cross down to this area will somewhat fulfill, right, that trend line, and we can continue heading up and onwards. A quick look at CMEs, see what they're doing. CMEs, if we look at the daily on CMEs, this is looking like, it looks like we're just putting in a retest, to be honest. I wouldn't call this a failed pattern yet until we close back within the range. But yeah, it's looking constructive. How did the weekly close on CME? The weekly close, bullish. It looks good. Good weekly, strong weekly close. So we'll see what happens over the weekend. And let's go have a look at Ethereum, see what Ethereum is doing. Oh, tapping our target perfectly, guys. That's amazing. I don't know if did I draw. No, I didn't draw that in yesterday. This is incredible, guys. I think we just amazing. So I had this target in put in perfectly, and I was saying that I'm expecting price to reach that area, and we can see it tapped my target exactly. So that's nice to see that it's respecting that, and it's obviously a sell-off from that area. That's why it was one of my targets. So leave a like on this video for it smashing my targets. Coming down, bouncing off this area, which is very, very healthy to see. And I was saying yesterday, if I remember, that as long as we don't close below this area, I'm still bullish, and we didn't close below the area. So we could have another swipe down similar to Bitcoin, play out a range basically around this area, and then get going. And once we get going, we could see some now Ethereum pop up for some higher targets somewhere around the next targets around the 2.6, and then even pop up here around 2.7, 2.8 area. So we can probably draw a line in there and mark these areas out for some higher targets. It's like so, right? And we'll put some boxes because it will never be that accurate. So we need to have some, some areas that we can basically give some breathing room, right? So that's what I'm expecting. And let's have a look at Polkadot. And Polkadot, had this explosive move here. And on the daily time frame, if we close the daily, above this area here, I do think that Polkadot is ready for some continuation, and I could see Polkadot move towards the numbers of, almost hitting our first target here of 49, but I do see Polkadot now popping up probably to 55 if we do fulfill that, and especially on the with the weekly close coming so soon. Weekly is that clear continuation signal. Look at that, breaking this wick here. That's why we got that explosive move. Jumping down on the lower time frames, looking at weekly as well on the Stokes, we can see we are rejected perfectly off the critical zone here, popping up. This is looking great for continuation. Daily has just been started to turn up again now, and yeah, if we can close the day above this area here, that's looking great for continuation. In terms of a 4 hour, 4 hour does need to close above this area. We could see a simple retest, but remember, we could basically come all the way down here to 43, but as long as we're closing that weekly and daily, that's really going to supersede. You can see on the lower time frames, looks like it's coming in for another retest. So I would like to see this start to bounce and continue up and onwards. But remember, we've had this huge move here, right? So since we've had this huge move, we could easily see price pop down to retest these areas here. So just keep that in mind when looking at this. But looking at the lower time frames here, you can see 1 hour Stokes heated. So I do expect a little bit of a short-term downside move. Probably we will have 1 hour wicks within this area here, but I do think ultimately we close above. And yeah, we can see we bounce, probably start putting in people taking profits from this move. It's a pretty big move here, 14%. So I do think this is set up for continuation, and you've heard my targets. With that being said, trade sharp, take care, and until next time.